Love in the ocean, but if you wanna go insane, either way, baby, we could go all night. We could do it all night. We could go all night, all night. Do we heal, do we bleed? I'ma follow your lead. We could go all night.
I've been calm, cool, collected, but you pushing on my nerves. And knowing your intention, I'm under pressure. Okay, I'm admitting that a couple things I've said got acidic in the tone. In the presence, I get careless. Long as you know I come with imperfections. When you look at me, you see the soul through my flesh. You something special. Know you looking bomb, the way you dress it, gone flex it, hold it still and let my mind digest. You got the leverage, you got the upper handle on the situation. You worthy of a million more of the storms that we weathered. We fight retreating, then fuck, but you trying to kill the cycle. When nobody's stressing that body like me, I know the way you like it. I treat you like a queen, run the castle.
We could do it all night. We could go all night. Love in the ocean, but if you wanna go insane, either way, baby, we could go all night. We could do it all night. We could go all night, all night. Do we heal, do we bleed? I'ma follow your lead. We could go all night.
I've been calm, cool, collected, but you pushing on my nerves. And knowing your intention, I'm under pressure. Okay, I'm admitting that a couple things I said got acidic in the tone. In the presence, I get careless. Long as you know I come with imperfections. When you look at me, you see the soul through my flesh. You something special. Know you looking bomb, the way you dress it, gone flex it, hold it still and let my mind digest. You got the leverage, you got the upper handle on the situation. You worthy of a million more of the storms that we weathered. We fight retreating, then fuck, but you trying to kill the cycle. When nobody's stressing that body like me, I know the way you like it. I treat you like a queen, run the castle.
We could do it all night. We could go all night.
Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing today? It's a holiday for me. No kids at school. No, got to get everybody up this morning. And so, I just wanted to have a live about teaching our children accountability and what that looks like. And so, I was having a conversation with Chef, which I normally do in the morning. And Vic, okay, we always have conversations in the morning. And so I was talking about accountability and what that looks like. And, are we teaching our kids to take accountability for their actions? Hey, Sugar Watermelon, how you doing? Hey, Derek. Hey, Denise Anthony. Good morning, everybody. So, I just want to have a conversation. And hold on 1 minute. Okay, these kids at school. Okay, so I just wanted to have a conversation about accountability, what that look like. Are we teaching our kids accountability? Because I do think when we teach our kids accountability, are they learning something? And I think are they learning lessons? Are they being accountability for their actions, being grown for their actions, and even when it comes to my daughter and right now she's a single mother, and being a single mother is difficult, and I tried to tell her, I tried to warn her, but she didn't understand what it is to be a single mother. And now she understands, and now she gets it. Now it's hard work. It's something that is testing her patience, her time, her money. It's accountability, and that's what I wanted her to learn, because I tried to, we had deep conversations, and I tried to tell her being a parent is not as easy as it all cracked up to be. Oh, it's cute when he's a little baby and you can put nice clothes on him, change him, make him look cute. But what about when he's 5 and 6? And could be talking back to you. He's 5 and 6. What he doing now was a baby was cute. It's not cute at 5 and 6. So when I say taking accountability, hold on 1 minute. I'm sorry, I'm cooking too. Okay, so I apologize. But yeah, taking accountability is something that I think we should have a conversation about it. And when it comes to our kids, hey, Frugal Mama, how you doing this morning? Appreciate you coming in. I think accountability should I think we should teach our kids accountability, teach our kids from right from wrong, and teach our kids. Hold on 1 minute. Mm, too many parents employ their children. Uh, okay, I could. Okay, okay. So what accountability looks like to you, Derek? Okay, if you're gonna say that. Hey, Victoria Shay, how you doing this morning? If you feel like that, what accountability looks to you? Because what accountability looks for somebody else might be different from you. I'm listening while I get ready for work. Okay, girl, go ahead and get ready for work. And so, I'm just asking what accountability looks like. I feel like, when it came to my daughter, and I tried to tell her, being a single parent was not always cracked to the beat, but she thought she knew it all. Now, at a sense, she didn't, and I tried to tell her. So now she's taking accountability because now she see it's not easy. Now she see this shit is hard. Now hold on 1 minute. Okay, now I'm back. Okay, so what Derek said, and now that we're have a generation of snowflake children has wished to stay home in their 30s. Okay. So I do agree kids should I'm not saying kids should be out their home at 18 because sometimes I feel like we as the black community try to send our kids out in the world too early, and then sometimes they fail. It's nothing wrong. I stayed home until I was 22. Okay, it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, sometimes my grown kids have came home and stayed home with me. My son is 24 now. Him and his girlfriend came back and lived with me for like 6 months until they was able to get on their feet, and now they're on their own place again. Sometimes kids ain't ready to move out into the world at 18. So I'm just saying, in the black community, I think we rush our kids out into the world a little too early and kick them out the house. That's I think that's just not feasible in today's economy, and it's not feasible right now. So yes. So I see. Look at the Asian community; they stay home with their kids, and the kids stay home with their mom and dad. And if you can make it work, make it work. I don't think not everybody is be raised to leave home at 18. Just my own opinion, as my two adult children had to come back home at least 2 times. Now they're living on their own again. And hey, Edward Smart, how you doing today? So I'm just saying, sometimes don't rush the kids out the house too soon. That's just me. Okay, well, teaching them respect for authority and a sense of money and how to feed themselves without without their parents. Sorry, that host. my son has a job. My daughter has a job. They're going to school. Yeah, but at the same time, is sometimes you do fall on hard times. Sometimes as young people, you do. I mean, luckily, I only had one hard time in my life when I was in my 20s, and I was married. And so hey Jay Truth, good morning, how you doing? And so I just think sometimes sending the kids out at 18, and it might be a little too early. So, some of these kids don't develop their sense of responsibility early. My son, he's gonna be 24 on the 15th, and now he's more responsible than anything. He's more responsible now. He know how to pay bills now. When he came home, but this time, the second time around with me, he was more responsible of doing being a roommate. He was more responsible of getting. I'm about to get a little nap before I go to the gym. Okay. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I think my son and my daughter are more responsible now. The second time they came home to live with me, because the second time they came home and lived with me, they was more responsible. I seen a change in them. When they first lived with me, they didn't care about that we had garbage and sewage and toiletries. They didn't care about the water and none of that. But now when they moved back home with me for like 6 months, they bought more groceries. They helped me with the kids. They was more responsible as an adult. And I seen that they seen how hard it was living on their own, and they seen how hard it was. Now they were more responsible as adults. And then they was like, okay, mom, whatever you need, we're going to do. They didn't understand the value of money. And now, yes, they didn't understand the value of money, and they didn't understand like rent, and rent is due on the first. They didn't understand all that because they paid me like on the third or like that. So now they understand like rent is due on the first. Sewage, water. If you drank the last water bottle, you buy some more. They was more cognizant, and I don't think I could have taught them that. They had to live out with other people and live on their own. And when they came back, it was more appreciative of me. So I think sometimes they're more appreciated. Yes. So I think sometimes they had to learn that. And, you can teach them accountability, but sometimes life can teach you accountability, sometimes your mom and dad tell you, hey, don't do this. I think this is not a good decision for you. But at the end result, they are grown, and you have to say, let you make your own decision. And life will teach you accountability. Hey, Bianca, how you doing? And how you doing today? Life will teach you accountability. You hope and pray that it don't, but sometimes life got to teach you accountability. Thank you. So I just say having kids and trying to teach them accountability, it goes hand in hand. When they're young, and you could tell them, you could talk to them, and you could say this is the way it's going to be. But life has consequences. Yes, life has consequences, and life will teach you accountability on things. When you ran a red light, you're gonna get a ticket. That's accountability. It's you can't teach them all accountability, but what you can do is teach them when they get in trouble, take responsibility for their actions and that kind of stuff. And that's even when my kids, okay, so like I give them $20 for their allowance. Okay, so like I like their blanket a certain way. I want their room swept out, and I'm like this. Now, if I have to go sweep your room out, if I have to fix your blanket right, I will charge you $1 because that means I have to do it, and then you will lose out on some of your money. So I suggest that you go ahead and fix the blanket how I want it to be made, and you sweep your room out, and you won't lose none of your money. You get your $20, on the first. You get the $20 on the first. And so I'm teaching them responsibility, and I don't mind, teaching them this. You want your money, you want to be paid for what you do, then you need to make sure that your room is spotless, like I want it. And then if it's not, I'll show you what I did, and you'll lose $1. And if you ended up with no, with $5 or $10 or $6 at the end of the month, and you ain't got no $20, that's on you, because I did say, every day I make your blanket, every day I sweep your room out, every day I do something, you lose your money. I'm not losing money because I know how I want it. Now that's how you get accountability. So yes, my kids, they all get $20. It's 4 of them. And if their room, the bathroom, and the hallway is not swept how I want it, you will lose $1. And every day that that's not the way I want it, you would lose $1. So if you ended up at the end of the month not having your whole $20, don't be mad at me, because that means I had to go around, make up your blanket right, make up your floor right, and that's the way it's going to be. And I have made more changes in my new place, and I want the way it's going to be, because I'm just not the only one living here. It takes a whole village to raise a house. And so we're all in here. Everybody got to keep their room clean. Everybody got to keep the bathrooms clean. We got to wash dishes and empty the trash. And so I feel like, okay, if I keep saying it, ain't nobody listening. But if I take your money, because you want to go buy your snacks and buy all the things you want to buy with your $20, which I don't have a problem with that. But if I take your snacks, and if I not take your snack, but if I take your money when I'm doing the work, then you're not going to get it. Please make sure you hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you, Shay. So I feel like if I do that, that will teach you, okay, mom wants this done. Mom wants it. And I used to say, hey, why you didn't do this? Hey, why you didn't do that? And I learned the lesson at my old house. I was always saying, hey, why you didn't do this? Hey, why you didn't do that? And I just told my sister today, my sister has the same complaint with her older kids. And I said, girl, I take $1. She said, I'm taking $3. Okay. She said, I'm taking $3. And so I was like, this is how I get everybody to, get their room clean and how I want it to be. And so I just got a chalkboard, and every day I take $1, that who lost $1 or who didn't do what they chores, I'll take $1. And I don't have a problem going home, washing a few dishes or sweeping the floor. But if that was your chore, then I'm just going to go ahead and pay me for doing it, and I'll have a little more money in my pocket. Okay. So that's what I'm teaching them, accountability. And I had something else. So hold on, man. I'm taking some food out the oven. So hold on. Okay. So even like when it came to my son, and I told the kids, I said, hey, look, y'all are driving now. I think you guys might need AAA. You might need AAA because what if you get a flat tire? You don't know. You just don't know. I told both of my kids, and they daddy did one Christmas. He bought them a AAA card. Okay, he bought them a AAA card, but it was only like $25. But I told both of my kids, I said, hey, I think y'all need a AAA. And the only reason I'm saying something to to my kids about getting AAA because a couple times, you know, you go Andrea Lynch don't listen to her friends either, okay? And I didn't have a AAA card and I had to pay for towing, that kind of stuff. So I learned, okay, I'm always gonna have a AAA card now. Okay, that was in my late 20s, and now I'm in my 40s, and I always got a AAA card. So I told the kids, I said, hey, it was my 2 adult kids. They was already got the license. They was driving. I said, I think y'all need a AAA card because just in case y'all get in trouble, your car break down, your flat tire, they didn't listen to me. Okay. They didn't listen to me. And I said to them, I said, hey, one night they called me and they was like, Mom, we got 2 flat tires. We got 2 flat tires. I said, what's I supposed to do about it? Because I told y'all to get a AAA card and you won't have to worry about if you on the road or the side of the road, if anything happens, you will have AAA that can come and change your tire and do whatever. Okay. Nobody listened to me. They just like, Mom don't know what she's talking about. So that night, I did not go see about them. You know, my best friend, she did. She went to go see about them because we wasn't even talking at the time. But she went to go. The kids called her and she went to see about them. But I told them I wanted them to learn a lesson about not getting a AAA car. I said, you guys got cars now. You're responsible. If something happened to your car, you need to. They didn't listen. Nobody was listening to me. So the lesson I thought that they don't take accountability for, it was gonna be out in the middle of the night, you know, scrambling how to do the car. That's how I felt. And so they called me. I said, oh, me and my kids are in the bed sleep, honey. We ain't coming out that late at night. And that's how I felt. so, you know, I think Outstanding Host sad. Too many parents will make their children the easy road. Then at their 20, look like adults and they're sorry. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And Derek said he been have AAA since 22. Children think they know everything. Yes. My son gets on my yes. And so I made they was like, we didn't get home until 3 a.m, Mom. You made us sit out in the dark waiting for AAA, waiting for my girlfriend to come and help them. I was like, because I told y'all to get a AAA card. And so I was like, they take accountability, but then they learn now they need a AAA card. My daughter just bought a car like 2 days ago. She said, Mom, I got my AAA card. Oh, okay. So you learn the lesson of you might need some things, and that is necessary things, and take accountability. And if I didn't tell you this, you still didn't listen to me. And so now you learn that I was out in the middle of the street and hold on 1 minute. And so they didn't learn the lesson. And so I just feel like, you know, kids should take accountability for their action. But if you keep saying something to them and then they're not listening, it's like, okay, so I gotta let life teach you a lesson. Because you're not listening to me. I'm trying to tell you what to do. I'm trying to tell you that this is something that you need to learn. This is something that you need. This is something that you ain't listening to me, but yet and still you ain't listening. And so when you ain't listening, life gonna have to teach you. Now, if anybody wants to come up, Derek will put the link in the chat, and y'all can come up and tell me y'all accountability, because I think kids should learn accountability, and sometimes you have to teach them. Sometimes you gotta let life teach them, and then sometimes you just gotta let them see it for themselves. You know what your mom will always say is a hard head have a soft behind. And so when you're not listening, you know, it was times I didn't listen to my hey Chef, hey 2B Chad, how you doing? You know, you Damaris has 2 jobs because Derek gave her nothing. Folks marvel on how independent she is. You raised them to be independent. How old is Damaris? 2 jobs? I mean, I'm just asking, how old is the Merrick? Hey, chef, how old is the Merrick? Is she 18 yet, Derek? I mean, I understand independent, but my dad didn't require me to have a full time job. He required me when I graduated from high school to have a full time job. Um, Now, when I was working part time, he didn't require me to pay no rent. But when I got 19 and I graduated from high school, that's when I started having to pay some rent. We had to pay some rent. But he didn't require me to have a full time job at 18. He required me to go to school and work, but he didn't require me to have a full time job. Plus, in my family, I ain't even lie. My daddy and my mom, the boys got jobs before we did. Before we the boys, they was from the old school a little bit. They felt like the girls should just stay at home, cook and clean. But I got a job at 16, so I wanted to help my brothers and sisters out because there was things my daddy, my mom wasn't paying for me. So I got me a job to just help us out because we wanted some things. So they didn't require that. But accountability. I think accountability is three things: is parents gonna teach you, life is gonna teach you, and just living life is gonna teach you. So that's when I say accountability when it comes to the parents. And you could teach your kids everything you want. You can give them all the life lesson tools. You can give them everything you got, but not always the child's going to do what you want. And so, as I learned as a mother, instead of always trying to control things, I have to say at the end of the day, I'm gonna leave it up to you and you decide. And that's the one thing I learned from my parents. My dad was a little controlling and like forcing. And I told him this because I don't raise kids. And I said, you can't force grown people to do something that you want. What you can do is give them guidance, give them options, and tell them it's all up to them and let them make the choice. And when it came to my small children who are 9 and 10 and 11, I let them make the choice of not fixing their blanket and not making their bed, not sweeping their room. It's up to them, because at the end of the day, they're losing their money. So if I gave some couple dollars for cleaning it up, that means you don't have no money at the end of the month. So that's their accountability and that's their consequence. When you're an adult, you can't let kids can do what they want. Like I told my daughter, when it comes to a baby, raising a baby by yourself is going to be difficult. She didn't have no idea until she had a baby, because she thought it was cute to dress him up and do all that. But the everyday hustle of being a parent is totally different. And so now she understands that. Now she gets it. But sometimes you don't learn a lesson until you learn that accountability. And so that's what, kids are not learning. And even some of these kids who like be on the bus and just be talking smack to the bus driver or to the other kids. I be thinking, where have your mom seen that? Because she knows that's your only way to get on the bus to go to school, because she has to go to work in the morning. And what if your bad behavior get you kicked off the bus? So your consequence is, for not listening to the bus driver, is you no longer ride the bus. And now it puts your parents in hardship to find a way to get you on the bus, or find a way to get you to school every day, because you had a free ride on the bus. All you had to do was just behave yourself. So it's accountability in that sense. It's accountability in the sense that, kids are not listening to the parents. And I actually, when my kids don't listen to me, I actually don't even get mad, because I know it's a consequence. What Derek say? Preparing the child for the path, not for the preparing the child for the path, not for the path for the child. You can prepare your child for everything, and not necessarily they're gonna go on the same path that you want them to. It's gonna be peaks and valleys, roads that kids don't listen, and kids doesn't listen to their parents. You can show them the way. You can give them everything. You can give them every tool in the world, but not necessarily they're gonna do it the way you want them to. Not necessarily they're gonna do the path that you think is best for them. And I do feel as a child get 18, sometimes he or she need to make his own path, because I don't do everything my mama do. I don't do everything that she, because I'm her daughter. Don't make me. I do everything that she do. She might be different than I am a little different. I know how to say no to friends, and she didn't know how to say no. I am a little different. I'm not gonna take from my house and give to people, and give to somebody that I'm just saying I'm not gonna do everything as my mother. So I'm not gonna follow every line and every toe that she did. I'm I'm a I am I'm her daughter, I'm her offspring, but I will make my own path, because I think when the kids make their own path and mommy and daddy didn't force them in the path, they're gonna appreciate you a little better. The kids gonna when the kids make their own path and be successful, and mom and dad didn't force them to do something that they didn't want to do. Like it's us, it's like kids like this. Oh, mom and dad always wanted them to be a lawyer, but the kid, they went to law school before the parents. They didn't go to law school because of them. They didn't really like law. It was because their mom and dad wanted them to do it. And so I think kids should be able to find their way. Now, I'm not saying find their way of living on your couch, find their way of not being productive, find their way of not working. No, find their way of find their own path in life. Because what makes me happy might not make Veronica and Quentin happy. What makes me satisfied and fulfilled in life might not make Veronica and Quentin fulfilled in life. And my parents did tell me this: don't be at a job that you hate, because you're never gonna do your best work if you at a job that you hate going to. So try to find something that you can make money at and you're good at and you love it. Because if you at a job that you hate, you're never gonna give your best work to people. Just my personal opinion. Derek is the cousin at Thanksgiving dinner, family reunion, would jump up out the window and challenge adult mindset, which was scary to do. I just appreciate you, family. Okay. But I did want to share something. Chef, come up, Chef. I wanted to share something because I wanted to have this conversation about Blueface and Christian rock and Chris Brown. And it was something that Blueface mother said. If you have time, just trying to make sense. I hold myself accountable and to filter over how I talk often time. Okay. I did want to have this conversation. It was something that Blueface mother said about Chris Brown. And if Chef have time to share that, if he gets time, I know he's doing something else. So if he has time, I wanted everybody to see what she said. Oh, thank you for putting the link in the chat. Because it was something that the Blueface mother said. And I was thinking, what did he learn from you? What did he learn in your home? Because y'all, I don't know if you guys seen Blueface and Chrisean Rock. They have a show on what's that network? It's a pay-per-view network, okay? And she has literally put her hands on him, beat him, and with no accountability. And my thing is, I personally don't like the show. I'm just being honest, because I believe the girl got mental health issues. I don't understand why Blueface is with her, because I would tell my own son, if I had a son and he was in that situation, I would the minute she called him out of his name, she don't gotta put his hands on her. The minute she called him out of his name, I would leave her. Okay. But it was something that Blueface mother said about Chris Brown, that I was asking the questions when me and Chef was having this conversation. Is like, what did she teach him? What did he see in her in the house with his mother, that he is okay for letting that girl just put her hands on him and thinking it's okay? Because I told my daughter when I seen a couple of the episodes, it promotes domestic violence for me. It is a horrible show, and they both need help. Yes, it is. Oh, it's on the Zeus network. Hey, Derek, how you doing? It's like, thank you, Chef. It's on the Zeus network.
Yeah. Shout out and respect due to the mighty Andrea Lynch. I see you back live on that too, huh?
Yes, I am. Keep talking. I'm gonna give my kids some food. Keep talking, okay, Derek?
Yeah, well, real quick, this gonna be less than, I'm not quite on my lunch. So I said, since you was asking, I go on and say, I think one of the greatest joys on this earth is to raise a child, and it's a hell of a responsibility. I think I told you back in the early 90s, I saw a senator from down either South Carolina or North Carolina. He said he foresaw a day in the near future where people would have to have a license to parent because of all the heinous things that people who have children do, a la molesting children, raping them. You may have heard that gay couple was tricking out their kids and stuff like that. And the children are innocent. They have no, as Melly Mel said, blind to the ways of mankind. They have no inkling of nothing. And so it's on you as a parent, since you fucked and had them, it's on you to raise these kids in a proper manner. Now, what that proper manner looks like varies from person to person. But I think any reasonable person would have to assume that you want to give your children a good sense of themselves, a good history of their family, basic right and wrong, being able to change a tire, perhaps do something like that. Because I saw this video the other day where you had this boy, the little boy got left at home, and the mother gave him a can opener and a bowl of soup. And this dude didn't, and she said, go for self. This 15-year-old boy did not know how to work a can opener. And at first I thought it was a lie, but then I hear my daughter, who's 18, say some of her friends, they can't even get around the city. They don't know the bus routes. They don't know nothing. Well, that's a failure of the parent. That the fact that the young man does not know how to use, at 15, does not know how to use a can opener. It's a failure of the parents when you have children in a major city like Philadelphia and they don't know the bus routes, because sometimes you're going to be away and you can't take them somewhere. They're going to learn to fend for themselves. It ain't enough for you to just say, well, look, get the Uber app and do shit like that. No. You need to know your city, and you need to know where you're at. You need to know these things. But it's a failure of you as the parent when you don't do these things. So for myself, when I found out I was going to have a child in 2003, Damaris came here November 20th of 2004. I said, I'd be damned if that's so, because I was seeing a bunch of people in Mississippi, Virginia, and here, and they just enable their children. And then you wonder why they so sorry at 20. I said, I'd be damned if that's so, not mine. And so you see my daughter on videos and stuff. I don't have to say nothing. You hear all these people, Father's Day come around. You see these men wearing world's greatest dad's t-shirt. No, your children are your biggest mouthpiece. When you raise them right, you don't have to say nothing. People they see what you've done because they see the child. But we got so many people that enable their children, and you wonder why they're so goddamn sorry. And we wonder why society at large is so bad. Why these kids are running around here in packs and beating up old people and stuff like that, because they don't have no sense of nothing. So no, it's on you. And if you see I was always taught, and I believe that to this day, when you see an errant child, generally speaking, when you see an errant child, look no further than the parent. That's all you need to know, because they're going to speak for you when they're good, and they're going to speak for you when they fucked up. And so that's essentially a testament to you. So I'm gonna go on and step off or salute the Chef Supino. I'm about to go on my lunch break and all that.
Yo, man, I got nothing but love for you, bro. I understand. I told you, you seen the message I put in there. You are the guy that's critically important in terms of, even if there's times where we thinking things are one way, and you come and you give that information that rubs people the wrong way. It's important. You are the guy that's needed at the cookout, the reunion, Thanksgiving dinner, and sitting at the table. Watch this. I'm gonna give you a soul food moment. Sitting at the table at Mama Joe's table, and creating those critical conversations that we need. So I appreciate you. And I see you in your burgundy scrubs. So do your thing. Oh, he calls it, for the ladies, he calls them Merlot.
Yeah, Merlot. Well, I'm gonna drop down and thank you for having me up, Ms. Lynch. I'm gonna see y'all around YouTube, all right?
Hold it down.
Okay.
All right.
So Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
So
hey,
I see.
TC.
TCH BCU Queen TV, the longest ever name on YouTube, is in the spot. I saw we had J Truth in the spot.
Yes, J Truth.
I like J Truth. J Truth was somebody I remember on the Robbie. Well, excuse me. Was it the Robbie podcast? Yeah, where Robbie had Darrell Long as well as Truth and Purpose Nexus on. And I know J Truth had some issues. So I like the fact that she's willing to jump out of the window, jump off the ledge with her feelings. So one of the things that I noticed J Truth said, let me pull it up because I'm not on my computer.
Okay.
I'm mobile. So J Truth did state, why is he okay fighting a woman? Isn't she pregnant? So here's what I'm going to say to you, J Truth. Where I am at this point, because that show was actually on a network called Zeus, right? He also has a OnlyFans account where people pay. But Zeus is about $6 a month. I'm willing, because I'm about that knowledge and that wisdom, I'm willing to send you that $6, let's say $7 of tax, so that you can actually have an opportunity to watch the show. Why is that? I'm just saying, based on the response that you had dropped, I'm assuming that you may have only watched YouTube clips and shorts that different people may have made, and that were confined within a specific time set or time frame. I'm willing to send you $6 Cash App, because Zeus is $5.99 a month, to give you an opportunity to watch that show, as well as any other, content they have, and give you an opportunity to take a look at it, and then tell me, who is that? Is this
J Truth just joined? J Truth just joined.
Hey! Oh snap! What's good, family? How are you?
Hello, hi. How are you?
I'm good. Wait, I gotta take a look. It looked like you got the cheetah mask and the little halo on the top of the head. I don't know what I messed with. Talk to me.
Hi, how are you? I'm well. I didn't want to cut you off, but no, this is my first time. I wasn't on anybody else's platform. I usually don't go on people's you say podcast? Was it Raw B?
Yeah. It was the show What? Because I know you're a moderator with Raw B.
No,
So,
that's not me.
oh man, after all of that,
No, but that's fine. I'm here to hear what you have to say. I'm open to hear what you have to say. So if you hear anything in the background, my cat is actually she's in heat right now. So if you can just go ahead. But you were saying
so okay, so let's address it. Forget the other person I thought that it was. I thought it
no
was one of Raw
problem.
B's moderators. But let's talk about this. I still extend that offer for that $5.99 for Zeus. And the reason that I state that is because I believe a lot of people have the opportunity to make decisions or have opinions on particular things. But the thing is, we can all have opinions, but not all of us have the same information. And one of the things that I did was I did watch the show.
Okay, and
And I,
I just want to I want to put it in
Go ahead,
context.
take your time. You good? You
And
good?
this is
Do your
from me
thing.
saying I know the young lady, is she not pregnant, right?
She's stated that she's pregnant now. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay,
And
and I was saying, why is he so now mind you, I'm from this I would like to communicate and work through any issue. So I don't believe in putting any hands on anyone. So I'm not one of the women that says that a man shouldn't hit a woman. And also a woman shouldn't hit a man.
Okay.
So, but when will we ever just sit back and say, why is this man just comfortable with hitting this woman? So I just want to
But
put this in context.
okay.
All
And I
right, so
appreciate that.
that's what you were coming from.
That's where I was coming from, because what it was you stated, but isn't she pregnant? So
Yeah, also that's
what
another
that
thing
did
I
was
was thinking about as well. Like, where
right,
have
but
we
no,
gone?
and that's a great question. That's a valid question.
Yeah.
All I'm stating is that particular question, it made me understand that you probably were not familiar with the two of them, and that's why I offered $6 for you to get a Zeus account so that you can actually watch it, because you've never seen him put his hands on her. If you're familiar with the whole Krishan Rock and Blueface situation, she is the violent perpetrator. She has beat up several people on camera at random, even down to her hairdresser on a red carpet event.
So
She's been physical on multiple platforms. So when I seen your message, I said, okay, she probably doesn't know what we're talking about. So I'm willing to spend those $6 just to give you an opportunity to binge watch the content we're discussing.
so I have watched the videos. I guess where they were in the alleyway fighting. Um, they were leaving some club and they got to fighting, and he pulled her hair or whatever. And the clips where they were in the club and they were fighting. Now that was back and forth, him and her. So the part where on Zeus, where he was fighting her dad, and I know at one point, she got in a fight with his mother and his sister. Now I'm looking at this as their elders. You get what I'm saying? To the point where I could have birthed her. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So I don't need to view this to see that this is bad. It's bad. It doesn't resonate in my spirit. You get what? Am I making any
Right.
sense to you? So
No, you're making sense. I'm
these
just
are my
curious as to what culpability you're putting on him, because we can give you several interviews where it was his interview and she was there and she literally almost destroyed a studio. There was another one
I
where
saw,
she
but this
started.
is the thing. I've seen that where she was in there drunk. I've seen it. It's like what I'm saying, that I'm trying to drill this down. It's like a generation. We see where she came from trauma, and this young man came from trauma. So and we can clearly see that with him. And before I even known anything about a Krishan Rock, where he was fighting his sisters and his mother, putting them
But
out the house. I don't know if you remember that.
oh, I remember, for the
So
record. So for the record, just so you understand in terms of who I am, right? I'm a corporate executive in terms of telecommunications, but I've been an industry person and tastemaker for a long time. There's music that I've written, known songs you may have known. I'm ghostwriter. I'm also a record. I became a record executive at 19. I worked with Michael Luther, Babyface, Sade, a multitude of different artists, right? So in terms of being behind the scenes and people, in terms of still being behind the scenes, I'm still behind the scenes. So when I speak to that, you know, understanding the dynamics of that particular relationship, I can see it. I could see it from a guy perspective dealing with a chick. I could see it from an industry manager perspective, knowing that this woman is dealing with my artist. I could see it from an artist perspective, right? I could see it from an artist perspective, understanding what's going on. And I could just see it from a basic old ninja perspective where I understand how relationships work and where the power exists and when society puts responsibility, you know? So,
Respect. I mean, I'm a Navy veteran. I just retired last year. What are we doing here? I'm in cybersecurity.
no, we
All
just
right.
talking,
So
I'm just saying
hey,
in
listen
terms of,
and listen.
I'm not talking about accolades. I'm not talking about accolades.
I
I'm
mean,
just
but
talking
you
about in
coming from.
terms of my perspective.
I get your perspective, but what my perspective is just being a nurturer, just looking at it for what it is. Um, I just look at two very young people. To hell with all this. Right now, they can get better. It could get better. If they were to pull away from their families right now, this social media bull crap. Uh, Again, I am old enough to probably have, I could have birthed them. I am their elders. So I'm not looking at one and saying it's all her, it's all him. It's a hodgepodge of bull crap. You get what I'm saying?
But I,
The
but I,
two,
mhm.
the
But
two,
I
the
think,
two just aren't right for each other.
okay, so okay, I do get that. Okay, I do that. But when I had the conversation with my daughter's 25 years old because she watched this show. When I had the conversation with her, and I have a son who's 24, about to be 24. Um, I say this, and when I seen Blueface's mother, and so I just want to ask herself is what is she blaming Chris Brown about Blueface and Chris Sean? But what was you teaching him? Because what Chris Brown is not you his first teacher. So what did he learn in your home? What did he learn in your home? Instead of you blaming Chris Brown for him and Chris Rock fighting, what did you Blueface learn from you as the mother?
What was Blueface father? You get what I'm saying? To be around wild, unruly women.
Okay, but don't you think if he learned that
Wait, Blueface father? What are we putting on Blue? So let me just
See,
say
you
this.
look
I
at
want
it
to,
as a
because
blame.
here's where the issue that I have, right? With all due respect.
Why would you have an
We're
issue? I
talking,
don't have
but
any. Okay,
no,
go ahead.
I'm going to tell you. I can explain.
Oh,
Trust me.
go ahead.
I, I'm long-winded as hell. All
Go
right.
ahead.
So I can explain.
Go ahead.
Here's what I have an issue with. What I have an issue with is we've seen moment after moment after moment of a young flower, a young princess that is not able to handle her emotions, is unable to handle natural things that we deal with every day. And we see her just whisked over to the mode of violence. We've seen it. She beat up a woman because the woman said, "Hey, do you remember me?" And she told us on camera that she was like, "Please, you don't know who I am. You ask me, do I remember you? Oh, you must want some action." Okay. She gets mad when she's on a show, a comedy YouTube show with Kai Cenat, where they talk about a little person, you know, what people used to call midget, but a little person,
Adore.
right? And he did, excuse me,
Dwarfism.
dwarfism, exactly, what would be considered a dwarf. Thank you,
She
right?
put a whole.
And she got pissed off because she was like, "What you mean you dealt with one before?" Right? The thing is, she is unable to cope with some of the natural things that regular women are able to cope with. But the problem that I have is people are consistently blaming him. And then now we're at the point where we're going to blame his father for him accepting and somewhat emotionally normalizing her errant behavior. It's her behavior. If we saw the show before she and he even became a thing, we saw her levels of dysfunction. So people can't do that Bobby Whitney thing that they used to do where they were saying Bobby messed up Whitney's life because she was doing coke back in the late 80s with Bobby Brown in them and Rick James in it, right? But the little dude that she picked up, everybody put it on him, that he was the one that ruined her life. But when we look at this situation here, why are we looking at Blueface and his father? Her behavior was errant. You get what I'm saying? And it was wrong before she even became a front runner on his show. I know that's a lot, but I'm giving you an opportunity to crunch it. Pardon me.
Uh, I have no debate. I'm not blaming it. I'm looking at both of them, as a matter of fact. But again, they're in their early 20s, right?
Right.
Would you mind if I ask how old are you, sir?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I'm 50 years old, my sister.
Okay. So you get what I'm saying. You have life experience and you understand. So I'm not saying it's not an issue of it's his fault, it's her fault. I see two young adults, children. These could be your children. These could be my children. I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm looking at these babies are in trouble. They come from troubled paths. Hell, what was her father? They come from very toxic situations. That's where I'm coming from. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay, so
And
Absolutely.
it's a very valid question.
Absolutely.
It's a very valid question. This is no debate here, is what I'm saying. I see them in trouble.
okay, so I will take that. But the point is, so when do because my daughter watches this with Chris Ron Rock. So when do before she even met Blueface, the child was violent. Okay, so when did she take accountability for her violence? Because one of these days somebody's gonna get hurt seriously. And I told my daughter this when she showed me a couple of the episodes. I said I refuse to watch this because it promotes domestic violence for young people. And what I don't want be honest, I got a 24-year-old son, and I don't want no woman thinking it's okay to come and pop him upside his head because he did something that she didn't like. You keep your hands to yourself because now I'm coming. Because I'm teaching my son not to put hands on a woman, but yet still, if his woman thinks it's okay to pop him whenever she feels like it because she can't control her emotions, baby, me and your sister on the way because you ain't going to jail for domestic violence. But
you know what,
we tell our sons walk away. We tell our sons keep our hands to themselves. We tell our sons don't hit a woman. We tell our sons, but when a woman pressed them to the corner and they can't move, okay, what we gonna say then? Because I'm like, look, get yourself up out of there.
With that in my heart, I pray about stuff like that. But with Blueface, that came very natural to him. So I say that to say this. With me and my son, though me and his father were not together, we were a team with raising him. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't badmouth him. He didn't badmouth me. We weren't combative. We didn't fight one another. We still did things together. You know what I'm saying? We co-parent. I just didn't have all that confusion and toxicity. I didn't have that around my son.
Mhm.
So now when he sees that, like with Blueface, and he's still young, like I don't know, I told you that he was going off into the service. He just
Mhm.
turned 17. So when he sees things like that and with other women, it's crazy to him. It's abnormal. You get what I'm saying? So
Yes.
he's not attracted to that. So
Mhm.
really, it has to start at home. I don't badmouth black men because I know I'm gonna be straight up with you. Sorry, not sorry. I want
Mhm.
my damn son to bring home a black woman. I mean, you love who the fuck you love or whatever,
Mhm. Mhm.
but yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's certain things, responsibilities we have to do as parents if that's what you want for your child. So
Um,
I have he's not he you know he's not gravitated to that type of environment.
Well, I get that. My son's not either. My son is a gentleman, and he not gravitated that to that environment. But let me tell you, I do think social media is an influence on some of these young people who
That
ain't got
part,
no strong parents, who don't have no strong parents. So some of these social medias and some of these shows, some of these grown men are watching too, and these young boys are coming up watching. And so what I'm saying is they are attracted to that stuff when they don't have no strong sense of parents at home. No, I raised my son. My son is a good son, but not every son is going mother's gonna tell them keep your hands to yourself. Not all they might say fight back if she puts your hands on you. So what I'm saying is it's accountability, and I will say this to me when I look at Blueface and Christian Rock, I be asking myself when she put his hands on him, what was going on at your mama house? Because if you didn't see that, and you don't tolerate that, you won't be okay to accept that.
she
That's
saw.
just me.
Remember
Huh?
she talked about her mother being abused, and then hell you like I go back to that video when I first got introduced to Blueface and he was fighting his mom and sister whatever. So he's used to that chaos as well, and so that's why I say much respect to you, and you done your part with you taking on them children and giving them happy healthy environments to be raised in. So I salute you, and I don't know if you were a part of that. I think I was talking to Nina when I was telling her, hey, in the service, we used to go and mentor a lot of these young boys and girls because they don't have a place to go to and they don't have people to talk to about these things. So a lot of people just sit around and talk, but I really salute you, you taking on other children and raising, taking them on as yours. So
Yes.
that's the most you pray about, you do what you can to pray about the rest and having a mother and father. It's not a debate. I think we need that balance. We
But
absolutely need it.
okay. Yep, we do. We
But wait,
definitely
I thank you for service as well, Jay. I appreciate
yes.
you.
I
No
do.
doubt, brother. We need our brothers. Like I don't get this. This all this debating back and forth. Remind me of that song that Jill Scott. I don't know if y'all know that song. We need you. All this other crazy crap talking about, the man for all this. No, the hell we don't. We need that energy. Y'all need our nurturing. We need our and y'all need y'all.
You know what? You just triggered something in me, and this is a
I'm
honest
hold on.
and
I'm
contentious. This is a not contentious, but this is an honest and appreciative interruption. I agree with you, and what I do
okay.
agree in terms of having, let's call it the red pill, blue pill bridge moment, right? I
Okay. Whew.
understand. In order for me to consider myself a good man, a good black man, a good father, I have to understand that there is the antithesis or the opposite of that. With that being, it's the bullshit dude. It's the guy that's not doing what he needs to do. And I understand within what we call homeostasis, which is the natural active regulation of our ecosystem, right?
Right.
And with every one of us that don't do what we need to do and that fall to the wayside, and some of us that are just bullshit ass ninjas, right? Homeostasis of the ecosystem creates some of the women that we consider masculine or having masculine energy. So I can definitely attest to that. Obviously, if somebody didn't have to lift up 40 pounds of brick, they wouldn't lift up 40 pounds of brick. But if there's one person who's the strong physical person anatomically to lift up that brick, then she has to gain that strength. And it is what it is. So I definitely can appreciate the fact that all of us brothers ain't doing what we have to do. And that creates dynamics where sisters feel that they have to take control. And I can agree and attest to that. You know what I mean?
Well, I say, brother, and the same thing. Not all of our not all of our women are right, and we hear that crap so much on here on YouTube. We got so many women, and I think God forbid, out of the anger. What does the Bible says? What is it? A man shouldn't speak out of anger. I can't take a scripture right now, but I get it. A lot of these sisters are mad, but no, and they speak so much hate. Same with these men. I'm like, listen, that does not do anything. It does not do anything for our community. It's not doing anything
right
for our babies, and it's selfish. I was telling you that, Andrea. We was on that.
It's selfish. It is selfish. I mean, I believe in this new way of a nuclear family. It takes a mom and a dad to have well-balanced children. And if you don't think that is the case, why did you have a baby with this man?
And listen, you can have a mom. Yes, you can have a single mom to raise 2 children or whatever, but still, they're gonna have you're gonna always have maybe an uncle step up, pop gonna step. Somebody somewhere is gonna fill in the gap. And we are beautiful community of people. We do take care of our own. We just.
You wanna hear something funny?
Hey, TC.
Hey, J Truth. Hey, just Andrea. What's up,
TC?
Oh, hold on. I gotta tell TC. TC, he took his podcast. It was his podcast. Same thing as the ASVAB. He scored a 70.
What?
ASVAB. Oh.
On the ASVAB? Yes.
Yes. So
that's crazy.
So now Air Force, now we gotta talk to the Space Force recruiter. So he did so well. So I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Tell him I scored a 69 on the ASVAB. I took it like something else, but that's another conversation. We won't go into that. I'm just
hold on, girl. I scored a 56.
I know that's right. But congratulations. Let me just say this, Chef. I'll talk to you about the Space Force.
Wait. Can you hear me?
I am quiet. I'm gonna be quiet.
Can you hear me? Come up.
Yeah, we can hear you. But I just wanted to tell you.
So before you go, because remember, we gotta educate these folks. We can't talk in the clouds. For you folks out there, the ASVAB, that's an armed services vocational action battery, right? Test, which is pretty much the SATs for the armed services. So when you score high on the ASVAB, it puts you into a better situation for what's called the MOS that you would want, which is
NEC.
Exactly. And look, I'm not military. I'm just
you're right. MOS
a nerd
for the Army.
But I will say, J Truth, I will give you some. I think I would love to see him do the Space Force. 2 years ago, I was on someone's channel, and I was telling people, look, during the pandemic, the Space Force had been implemented, and I had heard about it like around 2018, 2017, but it wasn't past. So
go ahead.
So I'm just gonna say to you, we'll talk, because I'd love to see him pursue that, if that be his thing, of course. And anything that you need from me, I will make sure we help out.
We are good. We are so good. So the signing on bonus, if he come in like a level 1, so I'm going to CompTIA, and for him and his friends, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy the bundle package for the 601 plus cybersecurity.
Okay.
So they pay anybody with just entry level, and that's for cybersecurity 601. They paying them just like $12,000 sign-on bonus. So I'm like, all right, I'm going ahead and just invest in him so he can go ahead and get it started. And
Okay.
there you go. That's mama's gift for you. That's your start and your parting gift. And so
let's talk. You kind of going moving a little forward. You kind of moving ahead, and I get you. I hear where you're going. Let me help you deal with the sign-on bonus part, because it all depends on where he's gonna go and what country and what currency. And then I have something to tell you about that, because a friend of mine is a JAG, and I can give you some real good pointers on this.
So,
okay.
Yeah, we gonna do something else a little bit later, but yeah. Because all my people were Navy, and I would love him to go Navy, but I talked to some. It was like, no, they're playing around with the TA on the Navy side. So, and it's been a year since I've been away, and they've released some nav admins that saying they making those guys wait 3 years until they can activate their TA. Heck no. We trying to go officer. So, we ain't got time. Education is the key.
Exactly.
And I got
shit, they keep using stuff on y'all. She said JAG, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you understand JAG, what that is that's the Justice Advocate General, which is pretty much, I ain't gonna let y'all feds just keep throwing acronyms at these folks, right?
And so,
I'm sorry.
I got
pretty much that's the Attorney General or the legal division of the armed services.
Well, thank you, sir. So I got his friend coming along too. He's a sweet kid, a nice young man. I'm excited, but that's it. That's what I got.
I have something for Mr. Chef. Chef. Yeah. So here's the thing. I was raised, I have a mom and a dad, and then, my biological father and my mother were not together, but my biological father was my roadie. My mother's friend, who I love dearly, that was the Cancer. That was my roadie too. Now that was my man. He took me in as his daughter because he was a nester. He was ready, to really settle in and settle down. Where did he go?
Someone his bike, but he'll come back up.
Oh, okay. And so I had some boss men. Let me say this. I had some boss men in my family. Mm-hmm. And they did not allow for my mother and I to lift anything. If we did, we got it. Cussing out, okay? Don't you dare. That's my job. That's what I do, blase to the blase. My uncles, thank you, God, for my uncles. The same thing. Military men, all of that stuff. This is what men do. You ladies, yeah, so and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? And my cousins got that filtered down to them. So I'm part of the LGBTQIA community, and I am the masculine centered one. It wasn't that I had to do anything, because I didn't. I didn't have to lift a finger, because I've been around great brothers, and I know what good men are supposed to be like.
Amen.
Maybe they raised the bar so high, I was like, frig it. I can't find Nan, because Nan ain't out here. How about that? Because they raised the bar now. Look, let me tell you. No way. We didn't play that. My uncles, my father, and my biological father did not play that at all. My biological father and my mother's friend, my father, my dad, they were good friends. My biological father and my dad made sure I spent time with my biological father, because my mother's friend said, no, you're going to spend time with your father. If you want to see your father, you daggone right. He took me to and dropped me off at my father's places. when my mom was being stubborn, them Tauruses, boy, they stubborn. But my mother's friend, he was like, she's gonna see her father. She's gonna see her dad. Yes, she is. And I have both of them. Two gifts for Christmas. Two taken care of for college, the whole 9 yards, and that.
Got a question for you.
Go ahead.
I got a question for you. So, wait a minute. That's because I lost my signal for a moment, and then I see we're missing Jay. So
She had to go.
did you have an opportunity to get familiar with the situation with Blueface and Krishan Rock, or do you even know who these folks are?
I thank you for asking. Absolutely not.
Okay, you didn't lose. It's not.
I don't know who they
tax
are.
bracket.
And I haven't, no, I'm answering. You're right for both questions. No, I don't know who they are. I don't know who Krishan Rock is. Is it Chris Rock's sister or brother?
No,
not at all.
Oh,
Not
okay.
at all. But it's a good thing. I see where your mind took you. So it's as simple as this. Okay, I'm gonna try to be as quick as possible. Blueface was a new and upcoming rapper that had a different kind of rap style. He was not what you would consider A-list. He might have teetered between high C plus and B minus in terms of who he was as a rapper or who he is as a rapper. But the thing is, he came up with a different kind of revolutionary rap style where he was rapping off beat. All right. And he happened to be a Crip from California. That's it. Boom.
Boom.
At some point, because he was a good looking dude, nice young looking man, they did a show. His manager put together a reality show where it was a bunch of ladies trying to date him, almost like The Bachelor, literally like The Bachelor.
Right. Or Flavor Flav.
Or Favor of Love, exactly. Literally that whole dynamic. And Krishan Rock was one of the characters on that show. And one of the things that she was known for was being quick to fight at the drop of a dime. She's the kind of girl that if you ask her a question and she doesn't understand what the concept means, she'll get offended and start swinging at you. That's who she was, okay? And that's the character that she was. But somehow her and the star of the show, who was Blueface, they became closer. And there was something within his personal trauma and hers that allowed them to have the ultimate trauma bond. So that's who he's with now. That show is no longer on. And what we've been seeing in the press and, everywhere on the internet is that she's been acting out. She's had a lot of violent confrontations. She's been violent with him. She's been violent with other people, So she's literally the loose cannon. On that show that I was mentioning earlier, if you ever notice, she's missing a tooth in the front. She lost a tooth. Yeah, she had lost a tooth in the front in the fight. And she's just been without the tooth ever since. So this is the person that we're discussing. And there's different clips that speak to what she's done and, how she behaves. But the whole issue that I had was certain parts of the internet have been blaming him when we don't see him exhibiting the behavior that she's exhibiting. If you look at all of the videos that I've seen, all right, including on the show, off the show, interviews on different pages, she exhibits a high degree of toxicity. And when you watch him, he literally looks scared.
Whoa.
Right. So at some point, maybe in some daytime stuff, me and Andrea might have to, because daytime I work, so I ain't gonna go live on my page because, the ops. But on Andrea's page, maybe we start looking at some episodes, and start seeing what's going on, because
yes,
what I've been seeing is so much clips, so many clips and so much footage that shows
Yes.
that literally shows that she is wilding out, but he's exhibiting a certain degree of patience. I remember Andrea. Andrea was on Sir Hale Speaks show,
Yes.
and someone asked her a question about if her son's daughter was behaving a certain way, what would you tell him? Right? If his daughter was behaving almost like a Krishan Rock, what would you tell him? What did you say, Andrea?
Well, I said I would tell him to have a little more patience. And then the man was like, what? Girl, is you, where your ex-husband at? They said he need to run. He needs to run. That behavior is not going to change. And then
Okay.
Right.
So wait, Andrea,
Okay.
you took it to the point, and I'm no disrespect, Andrea, because
Okay.
it's your platform, but you took it to the point where I wanted to kind of drive that message where you yourself was like, you were teaching your son in the situation dealing with someone like that, that he should have patience, while the men were saying that he should run, right?
Yes.
So now, when you guys get your opportunity to watch Krishan and Blueface, and even what I think Andrea and I are going to do on this channel, pay close attention, because he moves like he had a mom that said, be patient.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you see the mom's interviews, she says, I mean, you can tell she's for the dysfunction. All right. And one of the biggest impetus or precipitating factors, or let's just small word, call it the reason that Andrea even created the show today. One of them was the fact that Chris Brown, the R&B singer, he responded to some folks that were complaining about the fact that how well he's doing, even though he had that situation with Rihanna.
Right.
Chris Brown responded saying, I'm 33-year-old man. This happened when I was 17 years old. And pretty much I'm going to give you the summary. I'm a grown ass man now. This was 17 years old. And all of this time you still talking this shit. F you. You can kiss my ass and all of the rest of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We address this and we know what it is. Right. And this is something that took place 16 years ago. Remember, if Chris Brown was 2 months younger or 3 months younger when that situation happened, he would have been tried as a juvenile.
Yes.
All right. But once you hit 17 and a half, you get tried in as an adult, because you're almost completing your 18th year of life.
Right.
So he said what he said. And one of the things that he said was, I'm sick and tired of y'all, with all of you motherfuckers sitting there watching Blueface and Krishan go through all of the toxicity that they doing. You talking shit about me, talk about what she's doing. So, and he was actually right, because we're sitting here watching a woman beat on a man consistently. Blueface has been beat on consistently. You've never seen him put his hands on her, but there's multiple times on camera she put her hands on him and other people. So that was what he said. So what? But this is the last piece, and I'm gonna land the plane. Blueface's mother came with a little stream, a little short, talking about, she was responding to Chris Rock, talking about, don't talk about my son. You were the reason, basically blaming him for what his son is dealing with right now.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That was the impetus, because I didn't want to hear Andrea screaming this shit to me during breakfast. I'm like, yo, you might as well just go live, yo, and let's do this in front of everybody.
Right. What?
Right. So this is Blueface's mama that caused this one.
Oh my God. And she's gonna blame Chris. She's trying to blame Chris. Okay.
Yes, she's blaming Chris Brown for Blueface's behavior. She says, you don't want to taught him how to do this. I was like, what?
Unreal. I don't. You know what? I'm done.
I said, what did Blueface learn in your house? Because to me,
Right.
Blueface learned that a woman is okay to hit on a man. I'm just saying, my own is, to me, you raise up a child how you want him to be raised, and look at Blueface. It seems to me that he have seen that behavior in his own house with his mom. Okay,
That's right.
So Skip, like I said, Blueface, she's Blueface's first teacher. So what did he learn from you? Not Chris Brown and Rihanna. What did he learn from you, baby?
Exactly. What the freak is going on with these people?
Girl, and that's what I said when I said again, men needs to be in their children's life. But I'm not saying a woman can't raise a man. But what I'm saying is, when I gave my son that a woman's perspective, I didn't give him a man's perspective because I'm a woman. And then
Right.
his dad, when I had the conversation with his father said, "Tell him to leave that bitch." That's what his father said.
Yeah, I mean, he's being abused. He's being taken advantage of, and nobody wants their child to be sitting, standing there, whatever, and be taken advantage of. That's not good. No, they gotta go.
Yes. And so when I was talking to his father and I learned something, I gave my son a woman's perspective. I need to give him a man's perspective because a man's perspective is different than mine. I'm gonna say be patient. I'm gonna say hold on. I'm gonna say this. The dad will say no. Be patient. No. Get the running. Get the moving.
Auntie Tasha's gonna tell them, keep on walking. I ain't talking to you anymore. Get to stepping. None of my babies are gonna be abused by other people. That's negative. No, ain't no patience. I ain't got none, so it ain't gonna work. So I hear what you're saying, Andre, and you're right. A lot of times you get that, but no, nope. They've got to go. And then to blame it on Rihanna and Chris Brown, is that what she's doing?
Yeah, that's what Blueface mama said. And when I seen it, I said, what did Blueface learn in her house?
Talk about a deflection.
Yeah, because to me, he learned that from her. He learned that from her.
Yeah, he did. He learned. It's his mother.
It's his mother.
It's it's the household. It's the lack thereof, whichever one.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Steph.
Okay, good. So it's absolutely, I believe that it's his mother. I may go offline for a moment. I'm trying. Oh, here we go. I want to play something real quick. And pardon my neighbor's dog, so you see your boys outside, right? Peace to Chato and Poochie. All right. So hold on one second.
Is that a girl dog or boy dog?
It's a boy and a girl. Funny thing is, the girl is the gangster, the boy is the big boy. So here we go. I'm gonna play this right here.
Carlissa has a few choice words for Chris Brown after posting about Blueface and Chrisean Rock's relationship.
Oh, I've seen this lady.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Y'all already know I got something to say. I got something to say. No, I'm just playing. I don't have anything to say. But hello. It's Friday. I'm sorry if I've neglected you guys. My husband's been off for 2 days, so I've just been having 2 days of fun. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? The mama been minding her business over here. Can't y'all tell when I be getting some? What I be looking like? Hey, Selena. You could have did my makeup today, girl, but where you at? So yeah, I'm just over here minding my business, getting a little bit of you know what, and just trying to enjoy my couple days with my husband. What's been going on with my kids? Who's snitching? Who dry snitching? Who what's going on with my kids? Who trying to tell me what's going on? Y'all ain't got no snitching. Y'all ain't got no dip for me. Hey, Mama Bear. Oh, I'm the Mama Bear. I'm your mama, baby girl. Oh, y'all ain't got
Yes, check out for the right video.
Right.
Because honey, she was going off in her and honey, how old are you? Somebody, I'm getting son. I'm like, how old are you? That's why your son is doing the things that he's doing. He ain't got no home training because you ain't got no home training.
Right. Oh my God. But Andrea, I'm gonna come down. I know your chef's trying to get something, but I'll look at it on the replay, and then if you go back to live, then I'll come back. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too, but peace.
Bye-bye.
Hey to Derek in the chat.
Hey, Chef.
Hey, I apologize for that technical error. I'm literally running on mobile. I'm not at my computer. So that's what happened. Question for you. How far did you get into that particular video?
She was just saying about her husband and stuff. She never said anything about what Chris Brown said.
Okay, cool. Bear with me one moment. We're gonna bring that up. You're gonna see me drop the studio, but I'm gonna have to switch to desktop.
So, you know, I mean, she was a little, she ain't got no home training herself. You know, it's ridiculous. Hey, cause so, you know, what parent says that? I'm out here getting some. I'm like, what? and you want the kids to model behavior. Look at your behavior. This is like, wow. Okay, here we go.
Hey girl, but where you at? So yeah, I'm just over here minding my business, getting a little bit of you know what, and just trying to enjoy my couple days with my husband. What's been going on with my kids? Who's snitching? Who dry snitching? Who what's going on with my kids? Who trying to tell me what's going on? Y'all ain't got no snitching. Y'all ain't got no dip for me. Hey, Mama Bear. Oh, I'm the Mama Bear. I'm your mama, baby girl. Oh, y'all ain't got no dip. Ain't no dip over here. Oh, y'all got some dip? Who got some dip? Good afternoon, Jordan. You see Chris Brown over there trying to snitch on my baby? No, sir, that ain't how you do that. We all black. You should have kept it to them white. You should have kept that shit to them white. Okay? I don't know what you was doing with that one, but when you threw them folks under the bus, can y'all hear me?
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Let me see if y'all can hear me. Now, y'all know we done been through a lot. Chris Brown should have kept it to them white. Okay, you done threw the folks under the bus, boy. What you doing over there, huh? Do you need the mama to talk to you? You don't throw us under the bus. You throw them other folk under the bus. You was doing good when you had them other folk under the bus. Now go ahead and rewrite that shit. Come on now. I know your mama told you you don't be putting us under that bus. And another thing, Chris Brown. Blueface used to pretend to be you as a child Okay, he was Chris Brown all the way up until he became Blueface. So technically, you set a poor example for my son, is what you did. Because maybe he just might be following behind you. Okay?
You want to share it again, Chef? Or you good?
Nah, we good. We good.
Okay.
Looks like we lost PC, but I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that folks had an opportunity to hear
Mm-hmm.
this, our sister speak to how she felt and how she
Yes.
felt about different things. So just so that I'm not giving my feelings, because I don't think my feelings are important. What's more important than my feelings are the opportunity to give you guys what's called clarifiers or magnifiers, the things that allow you to see certain points in a larger scheme, so that it allows you to change or vary your lens. So let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Brown got pissed off because all of a sudden, at his age of 33 years old, people are going 17 years back or 16 years back to say, you did this, you did that. Every single person was aware of what took place. Every single person was aware that he was being attacked / assaulted by Rihanna. She admitted to it.
Yes.
But what we witnessed 16 years ago, was the beginnings of what I believe is the Me Too movement. Why is that? The whole scenario, including what Rihanna spoke to, what Chris Brown spoke to, which was consistent, was we witnessed a man, a 17-year-old and change man who couple months earlier would have been tried as a juvenile. And we watched him in a $455,000 car that was rented, and that she started kicking the dash, punching him in the face, kicking him in the face, literally assaulting him. And according to their records, the assault that she delivered to him was way more extensive than the assault or the reaction that she got from him. What she delivered was more intense than what she received. But of course, the way things work, us men, we don't complain about it. We just deal with it because we understand the way society works. Our burden of performance, we have to shut up and bite our lip and just keep it moving. So now we fast forward. We fast forward to now. And Blueface's mom is literally telling Chris Brown that he is the reason that her son is the way that he is. Chris Brown is 33 years old. What you call it is 26 years old, 26 or 27 years old. He's 27, actually, about 6 years difference. And she's blaming somebody who's 6 years beneath him. He could marry a chick that's 6 years beneath his age. She's blaming somebody who's within his generational age for his misdeeds or his deeds. Come on, man. I need somebody to tell me something, man. I just feel like I'm running my mouth.
Well, you know, if Chris Brown was 17 and Blueface is 27, that's a big age difference, and Blueface should know better then. That's how I feel, in a sense, because Chris Brown was 17 and a half. He's 27 years old, and you and nobody ain't teaching it in your home. And for her to say that, for her to get on any channel or say that live and say that, I'll be looking at her like, what was you doing? Chris Brown ain't Blueface's parent. You are. What did you teach him? Because I just bet money that he learned that shit in your house. Something about her tells me he learned that behavior in her house. And he's, I mean, let me tell you something. They already have a dysfunctional and this toxic relationship because I heard Blueface kick his own mama out of his house. So what did he learn in her house? Not in Chris Brown's house. So take accountability. Maybe you should think about what was I teaching him? What did he learn from me? Because when my daughter and my son do something wrong, in a sense, I'll call their dad and say what we didn't teach them, what we didn't do. And then you know what the dad was like, look, Andrea, these kids are grown now. we did the best we could. He said, look, they grown, they're making their own decisions. Because that's the first thing when I have a conversation with him, he'll say, I'll say, what we didn't teach him. He was like, look at here, these kids are grown now. They're making their own decisions. That's what he tells me. So I'm just saying, I would have been like saying, what did I teach my son that he thinks it's okay for a woman to hit him upside his head on national TV? And they get paid to do this. Because ain't no amount of money in the world. If ain't no amount of money in the world that I'm gonna think it's okay for my son to be getting hit on TV. No, look, you gonna have to go to FedEx something, do something, because getting hit on TV it makes you weak. I'm sorry, and anybody else is gonna test that to you.
So all I could do is go back to something that I remember from one of the shows that Dave Chappelle did, right? One of the stand-up shows. And he spoke about when he started creating a situation where he was going to be able to monetize his talent, his comedy. His dad, Dave Chappelle's dad, had a conversation with him. And he always told him, you need to determine what is your price. Figuring out what is your price. And if you understand early, it's going to have an impact on the things that take place and what you're willing to accept and endure going forward. Understanding your price. In terms of this situation right here, Andrea, I'll be honest with you. It feels as though people are literally now showing what their price is. It's about that bread. It's about what you're willing to sell. We are now in the advent of the OnlyFans era, where we have people cutting off their cable television in order to subscribe to 2-3 chicks showing their ass. This is the world that we exist in right now. So what's happened is people now are defining their price. And what we need to do is just pay attention to the market and see the price that they're defining. But we're all defining our price, and you can't get mad about it. That's our original creator, our creator in the sky, that's allowing us the opportunity to see each of the prices that each of us decide that we're going to leverage on ourselves. What is your price? How much you gonna show? Or how much money you gonna charge for that money shot? What's your price? And when I look so the accountability that I hold, because I talked about Krishan, but the accountability that I hold on Blueface, because he recognizes the dysfunction. Okay? He goes against the dysfunction. I saw the episode with him, his mom, and with all of that. His mom is a very dysfunctional person.
Okay.
And that's my opinion watching all of that content. So he's wiser than people understand. There's shows, I could send you clips where he's sitting there and he looks scared of Krishan Rock. He literally looks like he's flinching, like he's he dealt with a lot of abuse. He's flinching every time she looks over. She'll grab his face, do all kind of crazy stuff. So he recognizes that. But the problem is, if I would say to him, I would be like, yo, bro, why did you choose that price? That's the price you chose because he's eating. Unfortunately, our society doesn't look for greatness, epiphanies, wonderful things. Our society tends to look for mess.
How you doing? Yes.
And he's eating off of it.
Yeah, but okay, so I used to say this with my girlfriend. She used to say,
Andre, the Information Man Show. Sorry.
Would you go on Love and Hip Hop? And I say, I'm not selling my soul to the devil. Yes, would the money be good? Yes, would the money help me out? Yeah, but I ain't selling my soul to the devil to make money like that, because I feel like that once you open yourself up to scrutiny, you open yourself up to capability, you open yourself up to people telling you that you ain't right, they all digging in your life, you can't get that back. So once you open yourself up to that, you sell your soul to the devil. And I just want the kids to know it's more ways to make money. It is more ways to make money than selling your soul to the devil. And the devil might be something that you don't think it is, but to me it is. It might be different to you.
Absolutely.
You open yourself up to demons. Yes, you do. You open yourself up, because to me, Chrisean, she is every ape and every stunt is getting higher and higher. But at what cost?
He's a rapper that, for the record, so y'all understand, he was a rapper that came to the table with a rap style where it was an offbeat rap style where he would rap ahead of the beat, right? And for some people, it didn't make sense, but for some, they thought it was brilliant. It's kind of like those artists, even the way they looked at Picasso in terms of the way he interpolated, images of people, and they were somewhat distorted, but he ended up becoming where you see, his stuff sells for 9 figures, right? The thing is, at that time, he came with a different style. But now, he doesn't even rap. Blueface is not even rapping anymore. He talked about it. I believe that if he didn't have this other outlet of this particular relationship with Shorty, he would be in the studio doing what he needs to do. And I don't want to take away from her, because she was actually an athlete, a dancer. She was, she had skills. However, there were certain other dark things within her past, that impacted her life even before. Because remember, she was all of these different things. You Google Chrisean Rock, you Google, or you go into YouTube and you type in Chrisean Rock before. That's it. Just those 3 words, and you'll see. Talented, built, athlete, track star, gymnast, all of these different things. Does it mean that he ruined her life? No. All it means is that there were certain dark things within her past and within her nature versus nurture dynamic that we just couldn't see. But everybody has it, so that's all I got, man.
We all have a past. We all have a come to Jesus moment. But the thing is, I think for us as colored people, it's almost in a sense they think it's okay that we got to get on shows like that to make money. It's other ways to make money, but we don't have to sell our souls to the devil, because I'm just saying it's the devil in my eyes, because when you have young people watching that shit, they think that shit is okay. And when I had the conversation with my son and my daughter, I almost in a sense said, don't watch this shit. But at the end of the day, they are grown people. But I can control my other kids because they damn sure ain't watching it. But it almost, I was telling their dad, I felt like I wanted to have control and say, don't watch this shit. But I couldn't because they live in their own house. And it's like, and sometimes I feel like girls want to fight like men, and they're not men, because as soon as a man hits you, his hit is going to be worse than yours. He has more power. And so it makes me think about the next generation and what's acceptable and what wasn't acceptable. Because it was not acceptable in the Black community that it was okay for a woman to hit on a man. It was not acceptable. We would tell our sons. I remember my mother telling my brothers, walk away. Don't hit a woman. You'll get a domestic violence charge. And now the roles are reversed, because if you put your hands on a man or put your hands on a woman, both of y'all are going to jail now. It ain't just a man going to jail. The woman is getting charged with domestic violence too. And I'm just saying, we gotta be careful when it comes to this Me Too movement, when women gotta be held accountable for their actions too. Because it's not okay for a man to hit a woman. It's not okay for a woman to hit a man. And if we want our sons to stay from domestic violence and stuff, we tell our sons, if that kind of woman comes in their life and she's toxic and she's hitting you and she's cussing you out, run for the hills. It don't matter. And I told my son that you can't love her, you can't pray with her, you can't even go to therapy with her. She is going to be toxic, and it's going to take a long time for her to move on and her to get help. Run for the hills. I'm sorry. Some people, that praying and that therapy just would not help them. Just with my own personal opinion. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming in today. That was my little rant today. That was my own little conversation that holding kids accountable. But you have, at the end of the day, the mother and the father are the first teachers. So when your kids are acting up and your kids are doing things, look at yourself and see, what did you didn't teach them, or what did you not hold them accountable for? And then they didn't, when they grew up, they're not holding their own self accountable. Because I do ask myself sometimes when my kids do stuff, and I think about, oh my God, I didn't teach them. And the minute I called my ex-husband, the first thing he said is, look at here, these kids are grown now. We done the best we could by them. They have to be accountable for their own actions. So,
man, listen. For the record, y'all, you know what I'm saying? I feel proud, but I'm not gonna say it myself and do the self-popping collar. I'm gonna let Andrea say it. Andrea, tell them about how this show came about, please.
Well, we was on the phone, and we was talking about Krishan and Blueface. And then when I seen the video you showed me, I was like, who is she talking about? What did happen in her house? What did she do? And so that's how the show came about.
And what I told you that, yo, what we ain't gonna do while I'm working is what?
We ain't gonna have a long
gonna sit here and go through all of this and not share it with the public. We ain't doing this shit for free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You said, I
was like, yo, you need to go live with this one, man, because we have some things to say. Yes. So I want you guys to, and this is just me speaking to this particular channel. I know Andrea and Victor Freeze are part of my channel as well. You know, the daytime, you ain't gonna see me on my channel unless I'm off. You'll see me over here, but over here is home. Andrea has a lot of thoughts. She has a lot of emotions, and I think that my opinion on why you guys love her is the fact that the ability for her to be honest in terms of how she feels at the moment. You feel me? So if you see Andrea come with an impromptu live stream, she's about to talk some shit. You get me? And there's times when I'm like, yo, why are we doing this for free, yo? Go live. So please make sure you click notifications and you click all so that you see every time Andrea decides to go live. There's a lot of times she may not think about it and she may feel it, but you know what? I don't want to be the only person, you know, dealing with her emotions. So I'm going to share it with y'all. So stay tuned, man. She feels a lot, y'all.
Yes. So me and Chef was having this conversation. I was like, what did Blueface learn from his mother? Don't worry about what Chris Brown is teaching him. And that's the problem. Some of these kids are learning from celebrities and not their mamas and daddies. Because what I learned from being a parent, I learned from my mama and daddy. And that's how I'm able to be a good parent. I just took some old school and took some new school and put them together, and that's how you learn. But I do think about how I'm raising my kids, and when my daughter and my son get to acting up, I will call their daddy, and the first thing he tell me, he said, these kids are grown now, they're making their own decisions, all we can do is guide them. Now if they choose to do what they want to do, that's on them. And I have to remember sometimes they are grown. And I wanted to tell them, don't watch this show. And I have to remember, I can't tell grown kids what to do anymore because they don't live in my house. I have to guide them and make them understand this is not a good show. Make them understand it promotes domestic violence. Make them understand that Blueface is actually showing that he's a weaker man because he should get this woman out of his life. And women and Black men have to start demonstrating, if a woman is toxic, she don't need to be in my life, period. I don't care how much love, and I understand this at 48. I don't care how much love you want her to change, you want her to be different. She's not going to change that behavior because she has trauma, and therapy sometimes might help, and therapy sometimes will help, but you cannot stay around for her. You got to move on. And I think as men try to stay around and try to deal with a woman and try thinking they can love her through it, you cannot love her through it. It's time to move on. You cannot.
Remember, y'all, if you go back early in the stream, this was the same woman that Sir Hale had told her when she tell her son to have patience for the unruly woman.
Yes.
She said she would tell him to have patience, right?
Yep.
But it's interesting now, as Andrea has been faced with different stimuli based on the women and the way that they intervene in situations with men and the way things are looked at is extremely interesting. Andrea, you're actually at the 180-degree version. Antithesis, the opposite of what you were feeling before. Let's talk about that.
You can't. I realized something. It didn't connect with me, and not when Sir Hill said it. I connected it, but it didn't connect with me until I seen that clip of that therapist. Saying that you cannot love, you can't pray, you can't teach. Sometimes these children need to be on the ground. And I took a listen. I watched that video and watched that clip almost 3 or 4 times. And as he talked about it, I thought about it, what he said, and I really thought about it and thought about it what he said. Sometimes you cannot pray people through things. You can love them and you can be on the sidelines, but a toxic person, you cannot help.
A toxic person. So I'm going to say this. I understand where you're coming from, but let me just add a specific caveat. A toxic person is someone that you're not going to be able to help heal or move forward without one understanding the levels of their toxicity, where it came from, and the things that's necessary to heal it. And those three things, being able to have those three variables are not things that every single person that walks around has. So there's the people that have those three variables of understanding, they're going to be able to work with that person. But Andrea, there's some people that have to recognize that they ain't trained for that shit, and they're gonna have to leave those folks where they are, because in order for them to understand that type of person, that means they would have had to expose themselves to that same level of, or those same levels of toxicity. You feel me? This ain't for everybody. This ain't for everybody. Everybody's not a soldier. Everybody's not going to be able to go to Iraq or Azerbaijan or go to Pakistan or Afghanistan and fight in the war and make that decision of if they're going to delete that child that looks like they have a grenade in their backpack, or that woman that looks like she has a grenade under, you know what I mean, her hijab, right? There's a lot of decisions. There's a lot of decisions that we're faced with as human beings. Some of us are equipped and some of us are ill-equipped. And the ones that are ill-equipped, we have to allow them to move forward and stay away from that situation. So there's going to be the people that are going to be able to have a positive impact, and there's going to be the ones that need to keep it moving, because understanding this level of toxicity will actually be exposing them to it. You feel me?
And I have one more thing to say. I thought about my own accountability of my own self. If Ryan Lynch would have never left me, I would have been a bigger monster. So he had to leave me to. Yes. So I have my own accountability too. So I'm glad that he left me, showing me that my behavior was just off the chain. And so that's why I could say it's you can't pray, you got to leave, you got to run, you can't love her, you got to leave. And so the best thing he done was left me. Now, did it hurt me? Yes, it did. But that's the best thing he done, because I'm a changed person. And now I will never do the things that I've done to him to another man. And I haven't since. So they said one action has a reaction. Isn't that how it says? One action has a reaction. So for him teaching me that, make me a better woman today.
But yeah, listen here, my gangster.
Ryan Lynch ain't never put his hands on me, but Andrea Lynch was a beast. She was cussing, acting a damn fool. And so
listen, mm-hmm. I gotta cut you off, fam. Remember, this is a sneaky stream. I don't go live when I'm working, and I got a 3:30 conference that I have to lead, so I got to pull back on this one. But peace, love, and light to you. Great conversation. Thanks for listening, and also thanks for every single person who watched this, as well as the folks in the chat showing love. We got more for you. Stay tuned. Chef out. Hold it down.
Okay.
Peace.
Well, yep. Yes, you guys. That was my stream today, and I'm about to hang out with my grandson because he acting up. Okay, but I appreciate everybody coming in, thinking. I appreciate everybody listening, and I'll be back for some more streams. The kids are out of school today, so I could just hop on because the kids are out of school today. But yeah, sometimes you gotta leave people to let them grow. And loving them doesn't mean you need to stay with them. Loving them means you love them enough to leave them. And sometimes we're not leaving until it's really bad. And so I'm a different woman today, not what I was at 22, at 23. I'm 48. I learned how to compromise. I learned how to stop, not be the beast that I was. I learned how to just let it simmer. Just let it give 5 minutes. Just, it ain't that big a deal to start an argument. So, I'm better today. I communicate way better. I communicate because therapy have helped me. And so when I say praying, therapy would not help some people, it's just not. They just gonna be toxic for the rest of their life. So y'all have a good evening. It's Monday, the first of the week, and I'll be back. Okay. I love you guys. Thank y'all for coming in. What made you a beast? What made me a beast? Trying not to listen to nobody. What made me a beast was trying to do it my own way. What made me a beast? Thought I had control. What made me a beast? I had a reckless mouth. What made me a beast? Trying to hurt him through his mama. What made me a beast? I learned how to not hurt somebody just because I'm mad. What made me a beast? I just don't, if I don't have anything nice to say, I don't say nothing at all. And that's shout out to my ex-husband, because every time he used to tell me that, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So I'm at the point in my life, if I don't have anything nice to say, I'll just be quiet. And I ain't the beast that I used to be. I used to be, if somebody do me wrong, I would cuss their asses out, block them, and never talk to them. I'm at a point I could hear somebody out. Don't mean I have to agree with you, but I'm not in the business of cussing you out. I'm not in the business of just blocking you. I'm in the business of trying to understand. And so what Derek says, so that means you had some lining problems. And no, because I had some issues when it came to my parents of trying to control me and trying to tell me what to do. And so I come to the realization, I understand that now. So I'm good. I'm learning my mistakes, my failures. I'm learning who I am, and I know me better. I know me better now at 48 than at 22. And I wouldn't change it for the world. It just is what it is. I'm growing and evolving as the woman I am today. And the woman I am today, the things that I would say, the things that I would move, I move different. So I had to go through them trials, them tribulations to know better now. That's it. Well, I love everybody. I will talk to you later. Bye, Derek. Thank you so much.
Love in the ocean, but if you wanna go insane either way, baby, we could go all night. We could do it all night. We could go all night, all night. Do we heal, do we bleed? I'ma follow your lead. We could go all night.
I've been calm, cool, collected, but you pushing on my nerves, and knowing your intention, I'm under pressure. Okay, I'm admitting that a couple things I said got acidic in the tone, in the presence I get careless. Long as you know I come with imperfections. When you look at me, you see the soul through my flesh. You something special. Know you looking bomb, the way you dressing, gone flex and hold it still and let my mind digest. You got the leverage, you got the upper handle on the situation. You worthy of a million more of the storms that we weather. We fight retreating, then fuck, but you trying to kill the cycle. When nobody's stressing that body like me, I know the way you like it. I treat you like a queen, run the castle.
We could do it all night. We could go all night.
Bye-bye.